Dawn breaks over the Agopo, the flooded forest. Here, the boundary between water and sky dissolves in the mist. In this submerged world, silence is heavy. The surface acts as a mirror, hiding the secrets that lie beneath. Driftwood floats aimlessly near the banks, rotting, moss-covered debris. Or so it seems. But this bark breathes. A vertical eye opens. This is no log. It is the spectacled Caiman, waking with the sun. He is a master of camouflage, an evolutionary phantom blending perfectly into the tangle of fallen timber. Absolute stillness is his weapon. He remains a statue, indifferent even to the delicate touch of a dragonfly. A great egret stalks the shallows, eyes fixed on fish, dangerously oblivious to the death trap lying inches away. Below the surface, the illusion is broken. A massive pale belly hangs suspended, a predator in waiting. As the light grows, the riverbank shifts. What looked like mud reveals itself as a congregation of basking reptiles. A capybara crosses the channel. In the foreground, a single amber eye turns, tracking the movement with cold calculation. Nostrils flare for a final breath. The valves seal shut tight. It is time to disappear. Like a submarine, he sinks without a sound. The water closes over him, leaving no trace of the danger within. The sun climbs higher, burning off the morning fog. Shafts of light pierce the canopy, waking the true colors of the swamp. From above, the waterways are a maze, choked with hyacinth, a vibrant green carpet concealing a dark, watery underworld. A clumsy misstep sends a green iguana plunging into the unknown. Panic sets in as it scrambles for the nearest solid ground. It finds refuge on the back of a beast. For now, the Caiman is solar charging and ignores the trembling guest. A fragile truce. The Caiman's armor tells a story. Scarred osteoderms, living shields that have weathered years of battle in the swamp. Life here is a contrast of beauty and brutality. A morpher butterfly flashes blue over the brooding dark waters. The prehistoric Hoatzin grunts in the mangroves, a relic of the past, disturbing the tense silence of the morning. From below, the world is a distorted blur. Shadows pass overhead. Potential meals or potential threats viewed through a liquid high noon. The heat becomes oppressive. Vertical shadows fall over the mudflats as the swamp begins to bake. To escape the heat and the flies, the Caiman seeks the mud. It wiggles deep, letting the cool earth swallow it whole. He becomes a mud sculpture, caked in grey clay. Only the golden eye remains clear, watching, waiting. The bank appears empty to the untrained eye, but look closer. The mud itself is watching. First drives the prey. A capybara family approaches the edge, forming a defensive circle against the unseen. From the waterline, the trap is set. Webbed feet sink into the mire, inching closer to the buried danger. Through the split vision of the predator, the target lowers its head. The ripples of the drink travel like a dinner bell. The pupil constricts. The inner eyelid flicks back. The biological computer calculates the distance for the strike. Vibrations travel through the slime. Muscles tense, coiling like steel springs beneath the mud. Explosion. The bank erupts. A wall of mud and teeth launches forward with terrifying velocity. But the capybara is faster. A millisecond reflex saves a life. Jaws snap shut on empty air. Chaos takes over. The herd scatters, churning the water into foam in a desperate scramble for safety. The Caiman is left exposed, a statue of failure. He freezes instantly, conserving energy. There is no chase in the heat. Further down, a marsh deer steps elegantly through the reeds. High steps to navigate the treacherous ground. It leaves a trail through the algae, but nearby, a V-shaped wake cuts the water. The hunter is repositioning. The wake vanishes. The water goes eerily still. The deer pauses, radar ears swiveling, sensing a shift in the atmosphere. A wet nose tests the wind. The faint, musky scent of reptile betrays the ambush. Instinct wins. The deer abandons the water, bounding back the element of surprise is lost. He resurfaces, letting out a frustrated hiss. Small droplets dance on the water, vibrating with his low growl. Clouds gather, softening the light. As the oppressive heat breaks, the hunters shift their strategy. We dive into the gloom. Beneath the surface, the river is a murky, sepia-toned world of suspended silt. Red-bellied piranhas patrol the twilight. Nervous and synchronized, they know they are not the apex here. The Caiman glides like a prehistoric torpedo, limbs tucked, powered only by the rhythmic sweep of his tail. He settles on the bottom. Silt covers his back. He becomes just another root on the riverbed. Patience is infinite. Small fish swim dangerously close to the jagged teeth, mistaking a killer for stone. The snap is blindingly fast, a sideways slash of jaws that cavitates the water. Impact. A catfish is seized. Debris explodes from the bottom as the struggle begins. He ascends with the prize, breaking the surface to reposition the catch, swallowing it headfirst to flatten the spines. A jabiru stork watches from the shallows, a rival fisherman, wary of the competition. Beneath the stilt-like legs, another shadow approaches. The stork is no longer the hunter, it is the hunted. Sensing the pressure wave, the giant bird takes flight seconds before jaws break the surface where it stood. Deep in the forest, a different drama unfolds. A mound of rotting vegetation steams in the sun. A nest. A golden tegu creeps closer. A notorious thief, tasting the scent of buried eggs. But this horde is guarded. The mother Caiman charges from her wallow, a hissing fury of maternal instinct. The lizard flees. She climbs onto the mound, her body a living shield over the next generation. From deep within the earth, a sound echoes, high-pitched calls. The babies are signaling. They are ready. Hearing them, the mother turns tender. With massive claws, she gently excavates the hard-packed mud. An egg is revealed. A tiny snout breaks the shell. The first hatchling tastes the jungle air. Patterned in black and gold, the hatchling emerges. A miniature predator blinking at a giant world. She picks him up. Jaws that crush bone now form a gentle pouch, carrying the new life to the water. Released into the nursery pool, the baby drifts. Instinct takes over, and the tiny tail begins to kick. A pod forms among the hyacinths. Camouflaged by dappled light, they wait together. Even now, the instinct to hunt is there. A clumsy snap at a mosquito practice for the years to come. But they are small, and snacks for many. A tiger heron stalks the reef, hunting for frogs and babies alike. Vibrations warn the pod. They freeze, instantly becoming floating twigs. Camouflage is their only armor. The heron looks down. The water is a confusing mosaic. It tilts its head, unsure. The strike is fast, but the dive is faster. The bird comes up with only wet leaves. Beneath a log, the hatchling hides, heart pounding against ribs, holding its breath for survival. On the surface, the mother patrols. A low rumble vibrates the water, a warning to anything that moves. Giant otters approach, curious and hungry. They test the perimeter. She charges, thrashing and snapping. She is a tank defending her inventory against the river wolves. The otters retreat. The risk is too high. The nursery remains secure for another day. Shadows lengthen as afternoon fades. The hatchlings disperse, driven by hunger. One stalks a water beetle, moving one leg at a time, mimicking the stealth of the giants. Success, a small victory, but a vital step on the road to apex predator. A large male glides by. Cannibalism is a threat. The mother grunts, calling her brood back to safety. They swarm her, climbing onto her head. She becomes a living island of protection. Her eye reflects the setting sun. Liquid gold surrounds the family as the day ends. As twilight fades to dusk, the colors shift to deep blue. The shift change begins. We move to the deep channel. The water here is black and ominous. Something much larger wakes here. Darkness falls. The river is a void, lit only by the pale moon and the deafening chorus of frogs. A spectacled Caiman backs away in fear. It signals submission. The king is coming. From the depths emerges the black Caiman. 5 meters of moving shadow, darker than the night itself. A broader snout, rugged as coal. He is the undisputed ruler of the Amazon night. He moves with terrifying silence. Massive bulk creating zero wake. A ghost in the water. Sensors along his jaw detect the slightest pressure change. He sees with his skin. A splash nearby. His head snaps instantly. Reaction time honed by millions of years of evolution. From below, his silhouette blocks the moon. Fish scatter before the storm cloud. He rests his chin on a log. In the dark, the line between dead wood and living monster vanishes. He arches his back. Infrasonic vibrations make the water dance and fizz around him. A silent roar. Droplets fly, a display of raw power felt rather than heard by rivals. A head slap cracks like a gunshot. Territory is asserted. The challenger retreats. He sinks until only eyes remain, drifting with the current, passive and deadly. On the bank, a tapir steps out, heavy and cautious, looking for water. It sniffs for jaguars, but fails to smell the cold blood waiting in the water. 50 meters away, the Caiman feels the footsteps in the mud. He turns. Target acquired. A blurry shape on the bank, illuminated by the moon. He dives deep. The approach will be from below, unseen and unheard. Following the riverbed, his tail swipes powerfully, closing the distance with frightening speed. The tapir steps near, ears twitching at the jungle sounds, unaware that death is directly beneath. The water bulges, a massive displacement of mass rising from the deep. Explosion. The surface shatters. Jaws clamp onto the neck in a spray of white water. The tapir fights, 250 kilograms of muscle, straining against the anchor of the reptile. Leverage wins. The Caiman drags the struggle deeper. Hooves slide uselessly on the slick riverbed. The death roll, spinning violently, he knocks the prey off its feet, disorienting and drowning it. A blurring vortex of mud and scales. The sheer kinetic energy creates a whirlpool. Underwater, the Caiman is on top. Bubbles stream from the tapir's nose as the fight fades. On the surface, the splashing dies. The water churns with dark swirls of mud and blood. Ripples expand towards the banks. The jungle returns to its eerie silence. A final air bubble breaks the surface. The river has swallowed them both. High above, a jaguar turns away. Even the cat respects the master of the deep water. Morning mist rises. The sky lightens, hiding the violence of the night under a blanket of white. Downstream, piranhas swarm. The scent of blood triggers a frenzy. A vulture waits, watching the water for any scraps that might float to the top. On the bank, a muddy ridge breathes. Another caiman, digesting or waiting. A kingfisher uses the reptile as a perch, a symbiotic indifference between predator and bird. From the air, the river winds beautifully, concealing the brutal reality of the food chain. A fly walks across a reptilian eye. It blinks slowly. The patience is endless. An anaconda basks nearby. Two titans sharing the habitat, giving each other a wide berth. The dry season arrives. The river drops, revealing cracked mudflats and intense heat waves. Oxbow lakes shrank to muddy pools. Caimans crowd together, a mass of scales and tails fighting for space. Mouths gape open. Silence screams to release heat in the suffocating sun. Butterflies flutter around a snout, nature's strange beauty finding sustenance in a predator. They drink the tears, drinking salt directly from the eye of the beast, tolerated in the heat. A bee joins the feast. The nictitating membrane sweeps across a windshield wiper on a living statue. From above, they look like discarded lumber, a pileup of ancient armor. Trapped fish splash in the shallows. A lazy feeding frenzy ensues, heads snapping without moving. Bodies. A jabiru stork steals a fish right from a caiman's nose. The reptile is too lethargic to care. One decides to move. It stands high on its legs, walking over land to find the main river. Awkward and vulnerable on land, it marches with robotic determination. A jaguar watches from the shade, but the heat calls a truce. Even the cat is too hot to hunt. The caiman reaches the river edge, a slide down the bank, plunging into the relief of cool water. It sinks to the bottom, settling next to a submerged log. On the surface, turtles bask on a floating island. The island is the head of a massive black caiman. Prey, sitting on predator. A bizarre symbiosis of the afternoon siesta. An iguana swims past. Danger is suspended in the heat of the day. As the sun lowers, the stupor breaks. The pool wakes up with snaps and hisses of re-established hierarchy. The golden hour. Parrots return home, their squawks echoing over the basin. The river turns to liquid copper. A spectacled caiman floats, confident in its invisibility. But on the bank, the foliage parts. A massive male jaguar emerges, glowing in the sunset. Amber eyes scan the water. He ignores the fish. He is hunting reptiles. The caiman trusts its disguise, a fatal miscalculation against a cat that loves water. The jaguar creeps down, silent pause, muscles coiling behind a fallen log. The pounce. He launches into the air, aiming not for the water, but for the shape beneath it. Splashed down, he lands on the caiman's back. The water erupts in a foam of surprise and fury. Underwater, the jaws lock onto the back of the skull, the specialized killing bite of the jaguar. Surface chaos. He drags the thrashing reptile up. The tail whips violently, but the grip is iron. He hauls the heavy weight up the slippery mud, shoulders bulging with immense power. At the top, he drops the limp prize. A shake of the fur sprays golden droplets. The king stands tall. He drags it into the darkness. The master of disguise failed against the master of power. The sun sets. The sky bruises purple. Shadows reclaim the river. Night falls. Fishing bats skim the surface, snatching prey. Underwater, knife fish navigate the routes with electric fields. A black caiman patrols the empty territory, moving with ownership. Bioluminescence dots the bank. A frog glistens in the moonlight. The caiman pauses for a spa treatment. Shrimp pick parasites from his teeth. A moth lands on the surface. Ripples betray it. A slow turn, a quick dock. Nothing is wasted. Lightning tears the sky. Thunder shakes the canopy. The atmosphere turns electric. Wind whips the water. The storm is coming. Rain hits like bullets. The dry mud turns instantly to slick oil. The deluge, a white curtain of water, roars over the forest. The caiman lifts its head, energized by the rain, washing away the dust of the dry season. The pools flood. Trapped fish are liberated as the river reconnects. A black caiman swims over what was dry land, entering the flooded forest. It is a surreal maze. Vines and trees now underwater. A ghost navigating a sunken world. An anaconda slithers on a wet branch, tasting the washed air. Dawn breaks grey and moody. Mist rises from the warm water. A tree frog wipes water from its eyes. The forest is renewed. The caiman hunts beneath the fruit trees, waiting for fish that feed on falling nuts. A fish jumps. The caiman anticipates. The crunch of bone. Scales glitter as they scatter underwater. Capybaras swim in single file, navigating the new, complex environment. A bark of warning. A suspicious log sinks slowly. Camouflage is back in play. From above, the Amazon is an inland sea. The scale is breathtaking. A howler monkey roars, claiming territory in the mist. Fresh tracks in the mud, a massive print next to a tiny one. The cycle continues. Sun breaks through. God rays illuminates the steam rising from the jungle. Golden light bathes the wet rainforest. A black caiman basks, steam rising from its back. The eye constricts, an intricate map of the river delta within the iris, an ancient witness. Black skimmers cut the water, dancing over the head of the predator beneath. Suspended in the water column, peaceful yet terrifyingly ready. On shore, a hatchling catches a dragonfly. The next generation is ready. A pink dolphin breaches the river, teems with life, supported by this complex web. The black caiman slides back. A V-shaped ripple vanishes into the dark. The sun dips. The sky turns blood red, reflecting on the black water. They are everywhere, yet nowhere. Logs, rocks, debris. The masters of hiding. A jaguar drinks one last time. a look of respect to the water before vanishing into the shadows. The surface goes calm. The day fades. The insect chorus swells. The Amazon winds like a silver serpent through the darkening continent. Two glowing red eyes appear. The night watch begins. He sinks. The eyes disappear. The master of disguise has vanished.